Wait, Ron, we gotta play the intro. Hi, there we go. We back in here. We good to go. There's Cam. All right, what's going on, everybody? Buckeye BS Sunday morning. Terry's the first person in here, so he gets a shout out. Good morning, Terry, my guy. Glad to have you in here. Got 12 people already. I see you, Mitch. Yeah, so man, we in here. We got a good show for y'all today. So I'm excited, but I want to ask my guys, how y'all doing on this Sunday morning?
Cooling, chilling.
I'm sick. I sound like dog shit.
Yeah, Ron called me last night. He said he didn't even know if he's gonna be able to make. Well, and actually, no, I called Ron. He said he didn't know he's gonna be able to make it through, but I think he heard I was gonna come in and talk big shit because he was missing. So he didn't want that smoke. So I see he showed up. But yeah, what's going on, everybody? So the preview today's show. Obviously, we got 23 people in here already. So go ahead, hit that like. Was good. So today we're going to talk a little bit of high school football. We had that over the weekend, Friday. So we're going to talk a little bit of that. We got our captains coming through. So we're going to talk about those guys. Cam is going to humor us with the best defensive line in the country at Ohio State. So he's going to break that down for us. And for y'all, we have a players list from ESPN. They dropped the top 100. A lot of guys is on there. This just dropped, so it's pretty new. So what we're going to do is we're going to play some over-under and want y'all to interact and let us know, is this player too high, too low, at about right? And then we're going to talk a little bit about the beat. So yeah, that's what we got going on today. All that. Don't forget, everybody, Buckeye Roast. We have it every weekday, 8 a.m. Me and Ron is in there. Y'all been killing it lately. A lot of people coming through, so I want to appreciate you for that. But yeah, we got going on. We got to get to the show. So y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. So special shout out to our playback. You guys actually watched the high school Air Noland game. I didn't get a chance to watch it. So go ahead and break that down for me. We'll talk him and Tavien Sinclair. But first, start with Air Noland. Obviously, heard it was a great game. Came down to a last-minute touchdown. So go ahead and let me know what's going on with
that. Shout out to Air Noland. You know, in a big time game on a national stage. But I mean, everybody that's watched the game can pretty much say that. I mean, that was really like a coming out party for Justice Savage, his teammate, who came into that game with no big time offers, and he kind of relied on that run game to coast. But when they needed Air Noland to make the plays when they needed it the most, he came through, didn't even flinch. So it was perfect game, perfect coaching. They didn't really need Air to do much, but they needed him to win the game, and that's what he did. So I like that. Shows pedigree from him.
Yeah, we watched that game on playback the other day. That was our first time back on playback in a few months, but we watched Air Noland take on Juju Lewis, another top Ohio State quarterback target in the 26th class. Air led his team on a game-winning drive with, I think, a minute and 20 seconds left is when he scored the touchdown, threw a touchdown pass. Had a couple nice plays where he used his feet to escape and still kept his eyes downfield and made a play. So I thought he had a really good game, and it was just nice to have football back. That was the first football we've had in forever. So I'll take what we can get, even though it was high school football. It was a great way to start. I mean, it went down to the final minute. You have two top 5 quarterbacks in their class. So it was great to see.
Yeah, and I'll give you his stats. So Air finished 12 of 21, 159 yards, 2 TDs, obviously balled out. I mean, that's as much you can expect from a game on ESPN starting out the season, a great game. Unfortunately, I have to watch it back and just I didn't catch it, but it sounds like it was a great time.
Stop the cap, nigga. You ain't watching it.
Nah, bro. I'll go catch those highlights. You know what I'm saying? You know, Cliff Notes. Give me that, and I'm gonna go cap about Air on Twitter. Exactly what I'm gonna do. But yeah, so he bought out. Obviously, we had another guy, Tavien Sinclair. Burn went to watch him and put up his stats. So Tavien Sinclair had 5 passing TDs. He was 28 of 36, 300 plus. That's our 2025 quarterback commit. Give me your thoughts from him. I know his highlights were going around Twitter and everything. I don't think he was on TV. But yeah, give me your thoughts on Tavien Sinclair.
Go ahead.
I saw someone on the timeline compare him to Terrell Pryor, so that's all I needed to see. So I'm locked in. Hall of Famer, start planting his fucking tree in Buckeye Grove right now. Like, should be here when he gets here. That's all I really got to say on that. 5 touchdowns, that's pretty fucking ridiculous. Especially with, you know what I mean? A lot of people were questioning, you know, Tavien versus Ryan Montgomery. So it's good to see that, you know, he came out early and balled out at the beginning of the season. A lot of people were talking about his release on the timeline. I know that was something of question last year. So it seems like he's tightening up his mechanics. So overall, it was a great performance by him. You love to see it. Anytime someone mentions his Terrell Pryor too, you know, we're locked in.
Yeah, he impressed me a little bit. I mean, you know, given the division and the level of competition that he's playing, he looked like a man amongst boys, like how he should. And so I was impressed. He had a good placement on the balls that he was throwing. Kind of had a little bit his feet and his head on his throwing mechanics was consistent. So it just shows that, you know, he's taking coaching from Ryan Day, from his father, from his quarterback coach, and applying it to the games on Friday nights as a junior. So I'm excited to see what he's going to look like as the years go on and as he prepares to become a Buckeye here in the future.
Yeah, man, no, he definitely balled out. I saw some highlights, look good throwing the ball, making some plays with his legs as well, which we all about around here. Let us see a quarterback get out and run. So definitely let's see it. The chat was talking
about
got
some TP in him though. Like I was watching, like he definitely got this. Like if you look at him and his equipment, like his mannerisms and the way he throws the ball, kind of like not unorthodox, but it's just like that weird, you know, how TP throws. Like they kind of like favor each other as far as like throwing the ball wise.
I don't know if that's the greatest thing, being that Terrell Pryor said, you know, after he moved to wide receiver, he still didn't know how to throw the ball. So
yeah.
But a guy I wanted to touch on, chat was talking about it, Justice Savage, that played alongside Noland. I forgot to mention him. He was getting a lot of hype on the timeline. I see Zeke was trying to pay for his scholarship to Ohio State. Touch on him real quick. Did he ball? Because I didn't see him. So did he go ball out? Like give me a little scouting report.
This nigga had 120 yards in the first half and 2 touchdowns.
22nd team ranked in the nation. I saw a tweet that he put out last year about his coach challenging him to not be taken down by the first man. And it showed him training and working out to get to that. And then before the game this year, he said, "Coach, we don't got to worry about that anymore." And he put that on tape. So that just goes to show you what kind of dog that he got. Good kid. He could take coaching. And we saw him overnight become a priority recruit for many teams in the nation. So kids out there, put that work in, it comes through every time. So shout out to Justice Savage, man. Hope he gets everything he deserves.
Yeah. So I most definitely appreciate Mitch bringing that up. I wanted to talk about him. But yeah, obviously Demario Witten, our other high school guy, came out past it to you. He looked like he was balling out on the timeline. I saw him getting active. He don't even look like a tight end, man. He's just like an X, like a big dude, physical, shades of Noah Brown out there. Cam, talk to me about Demario Witten.
Bro, Demario Witten, bro. Listen. I'm ready to lie about, bro, because I call my dad, Chris. I'm like, yo, all I could think about is us coming out in 12 personnel with Witten and Jelani Thurman in the future and just thinking, like, what the fuck can anyone do with that, bro? Like, what can you do with that, bro? Because Witten seems like he has the size and he has the ball skills of a wide receiver. He's twitched up. Got that dog in him. I like everything I see out of Witten, bro. I think that he's underrated as far as like recruiting rankings go. But that's just another dog coming out of Cleveland, coming out of Glenville Pipeline. Ted Ginn Sr. Pumping to Ohio State, man. The show goes on. So him and Deshaunte Jones at running back last night basically put the team on their back and they didn't look back the whole year. Your people's Q came up to Ohio and got spanked So
It's my people.
them boys from VA came up to Ohio and got spanked, man. They had to see what was going on. So.
Team. It's also Glenville, man. Ain't no regular ass.
No excuses.
Bro.
Them boys from Virginia came up north and got that ass whooped. So
first of all, niggas in Glenville made Gatlin Bear look slow. So that's not a fair match. We got to go get the all-star team and run. You know what? We ain't talking Glenville no more. We got to run that shit back. But yeah.
Mike called it, man. They got Gatlin Bears all over the
Gatlin Bears everywhere. This is just not fair. But, yeah, man, he's so physically gifted. I remember watching his highlights the first time when he was getting close to committing and like seeing his ranking, and I'm like, yeah, who better than him? Like, actually tying it out, I'm like, all right, this dude has everything as it projects to go to the next level and be an absolute monster. I see that, and obviously, go ahead,
Deshaunte Jones too. I mean, listen, we gave love to Justice Savage, but let's talk about Deshaunte Jones too. You know, there was grumblings going around that certain people on the beat didn't think that he was, you know, a good running back or anything like that. And look, and what did he do the first game coming out in the spotlight in Northeast Ohio versus the World weekend? He put the team on his back, came out and ran for 3-4 touchdowns. Yesterday looked twitched up, looked unstoppable. So it's just, I just loved everything that we saw yesterday, man. Maslin beating up on Valdosta State. Like, that was just a good statement to get some respect going on back in Ohio. And that's only Northeast Ohio. They didn't get no smoke from Columbus or Cincy. So I'm loving it.
Shout out Buckeye Punk. I know he's from Valdosta, so I know he probably made his way over to that game and watched his team get fucked up. So shout out to them.
So yeah, man. Yeah, we moving up. We got 42 people in here. Go ahead and smash that like button and tell somebody who ain't in here. Bring them in here with you. We having a good time on this Sunday morning. So we're gonna move over to the Buckeye talk a little bit. I actually want to do captains first, so let's talk about captains. So Xavier Johnson, Tommy Eichenberg, Cade Stover were named captains. Cam, I'm gonna pass it to you. Initial reaction. Anybody you're surprised that is not a captain that you would add? But let me know how you feel about the captains chat. Do that as well.
Business as usual. Like Ron says, Tommy Heismanberg, don't really see him say much, but you can probably tell that he's probably a guy, leading by example type of guy. Highly accountable there in the locker room for him to get that voting as a captain, and you know that where the respect factor is for him. And then Cade Stover, you know, Mr. Buckeye, super program guy, you know, been there for a minute, made the sacrifices going on D, going on offense. He's earned the respect of people in that building by putting the team first, so he deserves that. And then X, COVID senior, another guy that has a reputation. He's played on D, he's played on O, and he's just waited his time amongst a room full of superstar wide receivers, never flinched, never complained. And all he did was make plays in the biggest games when we needed it. He made plays against Notre Dame. He made plays against Georgia. He had that sick run against Indiana for 70 yards. He's just a baller. So I think we just got a bunch of guys that just those three guys representing what Ryan Day's trying to instill in our culture as the team comes first and build a brotherhood and camaraderie. And I think they represent that. So I'm good. I'm happy with them being captains.
With Cade playing in a rotation in that tight end room, XJ also in a rotation at wide receiver, how important is whoever wins this quarterback battle to be a vocal leader for that offense?
I think the good part about this is whoever wins the quarterback battle, we'll touch on that later, has time to grow into it. They have two guys that are sort of, as Cam would allude to, cornerstones of the program. They do everything right. They do everything by the book, how the coaches want them to. So, I mean, yes, they need to grow into a vocal leader. And by the end of the season, you need to get your ass over there. I'm running. This is my show. Like, let's go. But when you have a guy like Cade Stover right there in the huddle with you, when you have a guy like Xavier Johnson checking in with you more plays than not, you got those guys that kind of pick you up, kind of set the tone for the offense and things like that. So you have time to grow into those. And obviously, we're going to need a guy there by midseason. But you don't necessarily need to start out that way. Get out there, get comfortable being that vocal leader, but you're not exactly just pushing to the spotlight of everybody's looking at you like with deer eyes, like we're ready to go. It's like we ready to go. Lead us there.
Well, the role of being a captain isn't really all about like the football, like the game, like football in general. Really, they're just like the liaison between the team and the coaches. So it's like when Ryan Day wants to know something about the team or if something's going on, like he can rely on the captains to be that mouthpiece from the staff to the team that the coaches can't always get to. Like they're basically the glue to keep the locker room together, like those guys that everybody listens to. So when it comes to the game, I mean, I'm sure Devin Brown, Kyle McCord, Marv, JTT, Sawyer, I feel they all have that respect and that understanding to be able to talk and get their guys up and all of that. I don't think that they would be at Ohio State if they didn't have that moxie to do that. So, but I think that, I think that the leadership overall is great, especially with us hearing about how the freshmen are basically taking on a role on the team, being vocal. We hear about Malik Hartford, him being vocal. We hear Brandon Ennis coming in, having that understanding and not want to be great and voicing that. So I think we're in good hands culturally. I like everything.
Yeah, like you said, Cam, you have to do that. Remember we talked about Dwayne Haskins when he was here, and it was like he wasn't much of a talker, and they were like, no, you don't really have a choice. You got to lead the offense. You got to go out there and talk and be that leader. And more of the point I was alluding to is like this is not necessarily a young offense, other than what we have at tackle. Everybody else is veterans. They've been around the block. Yeah. So when whoever is leading step into that huddle, they're going to look at confidence. They're not going to look at guys who haven't been there before. They're going to look at people who are like, we ready to go. What we doing? And that exudes confidence all around the team. So that's more the point I'm hitting on.
Yeah, I'm looking at a comment here talking about Marv. I mean, like the captain thing. I mean, it's really not like. I mean, obviously Marv could be a captain. You know, he's the best player in the nation. But I think it just goes into more, like from what I've seen from Ohio State, it's like it seems to be the guys that does certain things in the program that Ryan Day sees.
Yeah, I agree.
Someone that's really like an impact on the field.
Because you would think somebody from that junior class who's probably one of the best players in the nation, if not at their position in the nation, would have that spot, but doesn't really have it. But it's not. I don't think it's a terribly big deal. Deal here as far as captains. But since we brought up captains, Xavier Johnson, I'll shoot to you, Ron. He gets the block-o. He's a guy wearing the 0. Going to get the nice photos on the highlights, you know what I'm saying, going into the season. Talk about Xavier Johnson getting the block-o. What does that mean for him? And this is the guy you would have picked to take the block-o.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty obvious choice here with XJ. He's given so much to this team in so many different capacities. He's been here for a long time, and I feel like he deserves it. I mean, honestly, can't even think of another reasonable candidate. I know they asked Cade in his recent interviews, and he kind of said, yeah, I mean, I would take it as an honor, but kind of like 8. So I think it was going to be one of those captains, Cade or XJ, 2 guys that have moved around and just given everything to the team anytime it's been asked of them. So I think it's very deserving. I honestly couldn't think of a better candidate.
Yeah. Cam?
I like it. I like it a lot. He's been there, been hanging around, being a leader. And also, like, I mean, let's not act like XJ is just like this makeshift player too. I mean, I think he's going to have a future in the NFL too, as well. My favorite thing about him is that he's a walk-on, and he has found a way to make himself shine in the most loaded wide receiver rooms that we've seen probably in a very long time in college football. And what happens every time we have a big game, we see number 10 or number 0 now make a play. So I think that says a lot about him and what he can bring to the team. That shows through the game that he plays. So I love XJ.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I think this is what the block-o is really all about. It's not necessarily given to that guy who you think is, maybe going out and being a first-round pick and, things like that. Is just the most talented guy on the team. It's about the guy who's stuck around the longest, the guy who's fought through hardships, the guy who maybe shouldn't be in the position he is, but he's worked in tooth and nail so much to get there that now he's here. And he's earned the respect of everybody around him on the team. So that's what the block-o is about. Xavier Johnson, like you said, he's not consistently there week in, week out as target number 1. But when this team needs big-time play, he delivers it. I mean,
every time, bro.
every time.
It's crazy.
Georgia game, it was like, shit, Georgia's coming back. XJ shows up. He's bringing the attitude. He's making a play, and it's like, happy we got this guy on the team, man.
Absolutely.
Like, for a team that needs some fucking attitude at times, where you're like, yo, what are we doing? Like, we ain't about to talk to us or kind of show their stuff at us without us responding. XJ is that dude getting in people's faces. Fuck, he's ready to fight. He's ready to make a play. So I thought there couldn't be a much better choice than XJ for the block 0.
Absolutely, I agree.
And I'm ready to see some highlights with that 0 in the back. I'm ready to see some TDs and a 0 run the end zone. So
absolutely.
Wait. But yeah. Okay. I was just about to hit y'all, but we got our first super chat. Let me bring that up here. Oh, Ron, go ahead. My fault. Yeah, that's from was it Jamet, I want to say, or you got some of your numbers there. My fault, I screwed up your name. But I love XJ. He's a great leader, not gonna lie. The only guy thinking the whole block O thing is corny. Yeah, I think you might be, bro. I kind of messed with it.
I don't like it in scenarios when we don't have someone that like super warrants it. Like I feel like it made sense with Cam Bab. But like, does it have to be an every year thing? Do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Ron. Yeah,
they're muffled.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a cool honor, but I feel like it takes away from it. Like, not that XJ's undeserving, but I feel like the XJ story and the Cam Bab story are a little different. You know what I mean?
Would you want it? I'll ask this question. Would you want it like LSU does their 7, where it's like, in this scenario, like Marv would be the one getting 0 because he's going to go ball out and put up the stats and be the awards guy, be the first round pick because they give 7 to that player. Would you want it like that?
No, because that's not organic. Like the 7 at LSU came because like there was a number 7 that was a dog, and then another dog came and wore number 7, and it's just like so forth and so on. They didn't just like choose like, oh, you're the best player, we're going to make number 3 our number, you know? Like, so that's kind of like
my fault. I might have been off. I thought that's how it worked. Like they would be like the next.
No. I forgot who the first 7 was. It was a string of players that were wearing number 7. It's like one for Michigan. So, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Ron. I think it should be like oh man, we got a Block O candidate this year. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we got somebody that might actually get it. And it's been a couple years, you know. And it makes
gave the Block O out every couple of years. I think it would add more value to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, actually, that would make it more cool.
Solid take, brother.
Especially too, I need somebody who's gonna wear the Block O. Like their Mumford had the Block O, and it's like we're never gonna see that on the field because he's got to wear 74. Like, what are we doing? Like, all right, there, we love you, but like, I want to. We gonna have
a quarterback with the Block O be crazy.
You said it. You said it. So we're gonna get into it. I know we have a ton of quarterback stuff on the schedule. They're talking about Devin Brown being the starter. I hate to rain on everybody's parade. Like, I think Devin is gonna be a dog. I fucking hate 33. I fucking hate it. I hate that was my number in high school. I wore 33 in every sport. I wore 3 in soccer. I wore 33 in football. I wore fucking 33 in basketball. That is my number. My dad wore 33. I love the number 33. It is my favorite number. I fucking hate that Devin Brown is wearing it.
I mean, you want to give Devin the Block O and let him go.
I would rather Devin wear the Block O than 33.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I think that 33 kind of getting hard. That shit growing on me, man. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That 33 out there.
Like, let's get in a fictional scenario. If
bro, you getting mixed up by a quarterback wearing 33, that shit gonna be crazy, bro.
I mean, I get it. It just looks odd, but like, let's say hypothetically, like they were like, "Hey, Devin, you the dude. We about to give you the Block O." Would you imagine the hype train that would go right before the season, bro? Twitter would go off the fucking rails if they're like, "Yo, get this man to Block 0 and let's ride."
Man,
I can just imagine the fucking timeline. That should actually go crazy.
DB 33, man. I know,
man. I wish he kept the 15 because I wore 15, but you know, hey, Devin, hey, as long as you win, bro, I'll put the 33 on my.
The only reason it's hitting with me, bro, is because like he showed like his like Pee Wee football photos, like he really was rocking 33 the whole jump. Like, so it's like he rocking with it. That's his number, bro.
But I mean, if he like showed you like Pee Wee photos of him rocking 69, do you think like 69 should be the quarterback at Ohio State? Like, it's
nah, silly. Nigga, 33 is far. Come on, you start going higher than that,
bro. 33, man, that's his number.
I think Teddy Bridgewater's wearing 50 this year.
Oh my goodness.
Did I see that?
Hey, that's the Devin Brown effect, bro. Quarterback starting to go with the double-digit unorthodox numbers.
About to see quarterback wore 98. Was that Devin Gardner? Wore 98.
He was cheese butter though.
Yeah, I mean, he was wearing 98. Fuck, he balling out with that. That right there takes your Madden score down 10 points. So yeah, but we hopping into it. So we talked about jersey numbers and we talked about Devin Brown. Obviously, this quarterback. Thank you for the super chat again, Jamal. If I'm screwing your name, my fault, but we appreciate super chat, man. Yeah. So I lost my thing. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. So quarterback battle rages on. We got a lot of hype over the weekend. We don't know who the starter is yet, so still to come. But getting a lot of hype from Devin Brown. And the way I want to word this question is, if Devin Brown's the guy, we don't know for sure. Things are looking like it, but if Devin Brown's the guy, my sort of question is, are we going to start to see, because we had a guy in the room, been there for 3 years, done all the things right from what we hear, should be the next one to step up. We got this younger guy. It's a second year in the program, super talented, super crazy. If they go with Devin Brown, do you feel like as an overall team, we start to see a youth movement with talent? Like I'm talking about like Devin Brown, if he's named a starter, do we start to see like, oh, we really get to see CJ Hicks this year because we've got to play him. He's young and talented. Oh, we really start to see Sonny Styles and just guys like that. Do you think that starts to allude to overall youth movement of play the most talented players to see what we got? Or is it just like, Devin Brown's just that guy and we're just going with that? I want to know if that actual effect on the team, we're going to see it across the board. And that's for the chat as well. But go ahead, Cam.
Oh, man. That's a funny question because it's like, Ryan Day is a head coach, and he's obviously in control of the quarterbacks and the overall direction of the offense with him being an offensive coach and his role with that. So that's like kind of different than what decisions can really be made by a Laurinaitis or a Jim Knowles that can't just start the person that they want. So I feel like with Ryan Day, I mean, we've always seen evidence that he was going to play the best player at quarterback. This was really the first time that we've ever had a battle to where it was like even a question like who was going to play. I mean, CJ was pretty much reported immediately that he's different, that he was going to start when he was going through, and Justin Fields and chugging off. I mean, come on now. And then the Dwayne Haskins issue, and then Joe Burrow ends up leaving. So this was the first time that we saw Ryan Day. It was like, is he going to go the favoritism route or whatever? And if he goes with a guy that's younger, I think that's going against a lot of narratives that people would have thought, or the beat put out that, Ryan Day is going to go with seniority. Now, can that thought process trickle down to Jim Knowles and the rest? Absolutely, because if the head coach is saying, I'm going to play with the younger, better player, why not the defense?
Yeah. So. Yeah, and I see Matthew in the chat. He's talking about we already do that on offense. The defense is where you usually see the older guys.
Yeah.
Offense is more safe to play a young wide receiver, or more safe to play a young running back. Obviously, just because of the structure of the team. And defense is a little harder, but that's where I'm pushing. It's safe, and I feel like a lot of times we make the safe move or the more comfortable move. But now at the top, it would have been really safe to have declared Kyle McCord the guy. And that's the direction that we've all thought it was going. I thought it was going that way all summer. I know Ron thought it was going that way. I think Mike as well, too. I know, Ken, where you were at with the QB battle before predicting who was going to start. But yeah, that's all direction we thought it was going to go. But like you said, if Ryan Day is willing to be like, all right, we'll throw the younger, more talented guy in at quarterback, and that's the direction it goes, like, he's the head guy. So if he's like, all right, if I'm doing that, you know what I'm saying? We got these freak shows on defense, or maybe this
Jim
better.
And also Jim's coaching background is different than Ryan Day's too. Ryan Day's coming from an NFL, very personnel centric background regarding offense. So I never really had an issue with Ryan Day's grouping with personnel, because I feel like ever since he's been here, I feel like the best players, whether they're freshmen or not, got a chance to get some shine and get some play. Like Garrett Wilson got worked in there, JSN got worked in there, JMO got worked in there every now and then, Trey. So it's like, if we had top end talent on offense, Ryan Day finds a way to play them early, which is why that translates into the recruiting. It's so effortlessly on that side of the ball. Now, the issue with Jim Knowles versus Ryan Day is I don't know if Jim Knowles really trusts his players. And so it kind of seems like he just falls back on the old reliable. It's like, well, at least I know like I can call whatever set or whatever blitz or whatever, and I'm going to make sure that the call gets in. I'm going to make sure that everybody's going to have higher understanding of what I'm trying to do, which is great, which is understandable from a head coaching standpoint. But how much of that are you willing to give up for extraordinary athleticism and extraordinary instincts and extraordinary playmaking ability that you know that CJ Hicks has over Eichenberg and has over Steel Chambers, Sonny Styles that you know can get off the hash is 230. That's 230 pounds. Like when Michigan comes out with that off balance set and the 12 personnel, you know that Sonny Styles has the ability to take on a tight end and also go set the edge at 230 because he's a unicorn. But it's going to be interesting to see if Jim Knowles starts to, get a little bit of Kirby in him and say, hey, they don't know everything, but these motherfuckers is dogs and they're going to run around and fly. And by week 7, I'm going to have a whole freshman class of animals. So we'll see, bro.
And piggybacking off of what you just talked about, I think those guys that Jim Knowles trusts the most are a bit of blockers for the guys we sort of want to see, because if you think like Kenyatta Jackson, like those guys right there moving around, if Tommy Eichenberg is in, he probably trusts those guys. Like, oh, Tommy will get Kenyatta in the right spot. He'll get Caden Curry in the right spot. You can let those guys be who they want. We all want CJ Hicks and a bit of youth movement at linebacker. And it's like, but then he would have to take the guy he trusts most off the field to put those guys in, and then he's not so comfortable then in other positions. Or at safety, where Lathan Ransom was a guy he probably trusted most in secondary last season, who was balling out until the last couple games. So was a blocker that's the Sonny Styles position last season. So yeah, man. I think that's an interesting point, and I think too that's a little bit of the problem. Guys he trusts most are kind of in the way a little bit. But you brought up Matthew. He had a question. Do you think starting Devin over Kyle can affect the locker room? I'm gonna appear to something I said on Buckeye Roast in the morning. I talked about like as far as a vibe, especially what you get from your quarterback, like this could just be a more East Coast or more of a Midwest thing. But we seem to like guys who run a little bit more hot. Like we seem to like the guy who talks a little shit. Like, that's the guy we go, like, as much as Kyle, like, he's a very cool demeanor. I kind of called him like the James Bond of like, I know what I'm going to do and I don't need to, tell you about it. I'm just going to go show you. Like, he's a little more cool, collected. Devin seems like a guy who runs a little more hot, talk a little more trash. One, I want to ask you, do you think the fan base rallies around that more first? And second, to Matthew's question, do you think what effect that's going to have on the locker
room? To answer my part on Matthew's question, the thing that I've always seen and known in sports in general, to keep the locker room intact, is very simple. You play the best players because the players know who's the best. So you play the best players. If Devin Brown is actually better than Kyle McCord and they're practicing every day and they see it and they know it, there's not going to be an issue. Like, I can be best friends with Ron, and if Ron is the worst running back on the team and he's not starting, I'm gonna be like, bro, like, you lost a job. So I don't think that starting Devin or
if Ron
Kyle,
ain't starting, I'm firing Tony Alford. Let's keep it being.
Like, I don't think that starting or benching Devin Brown or Kyle will affect the locker room, because I think they both got respect to the team. But I think there's obviously a player that's been showing more, and I think that the players know that, the coaching staff knows that, and soon the fan base will. So I don't think it'll be the issue at all.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know, man. I feel like if Devin Brown is starting and he really gets command of this team, I think we are going to have a team that is a lot more nasty than they were the last couple of years. I think that attitude It's just the confidence he pulls off. I feel like he's going to come in again. He's going to talk some shit. I feel like the team will gravitate around that. And you're going to start to see this team with a little more edge. And that's no disrespect to Kyle at all. I feel like if Kyle started, we would probably sort of have that same vibe we had the last couple seasons with CJ. CJ seemed like a little more chill guy. Obviously, we've seen CJ talk. We've seen him get in front of the team. We've seen him demand respect. But I didn't necessarily see CJ out on the field, like talking crazy, like doing things like that, like I would have wanted to, like more he did later, like in the Georgia game, where you saw him have a little more, I guess, a little more vibe about him like that. I think if Devin comes in, he's going to be that guy where it's like, oh shit, like this team has really turned a corner just as far as attitude. So that's where I would think about it. Ron, go ahead and weigh in. I know you were in and out there. Do you think it has any effect on the locker room with Devin starting? And I talked to you about the other day. Do you think this fan base will react to a quarterback that has a little more of that juice to him, and be a little more favorable?
Well, we already have an obnoxious and toxic fan base, so if we have a very confident quarterback that exudes that confidence, I feel like the fan base will embrace it and will match the energy. As far as if Devin's the starter, I feel like he does bring a different type of energy, like you guys touched on. I know we always talk about that last Michigan game where going into the fourth quarter, there was a guy standing on the bench screaming at the whole team. And I feel like Devin can be that type of guy. So I feel like Devin would definitely be a more vocal leader. And I feel like the team would take on that, what's Cam call him, a give a shitter?
Yeah, bro. We got to get a high give a shitter, man. Get your give a shitter.
Yeah, we got a high give a shitter at quarterback. So I feel like that type of energy at quarterback would trickle down to the rest of the team.
Yeah, so that's it. There we go. Wait on that. Hey, Matthew, I appreciate the question. One of our guys, he's always in here. So appreciate you, man. Appreciate you tapping in every week. And for everybody else, I see y'all in the chat. We up to 106 in here. Like that video. Y'all know we here at least 6 days a week, if not more. So we appreciate y'all tapping in and just love, like I said, not morning people, but for y'all, we'll wake up. We'll get in here and hang out. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So, handling off of that, so we talked to Devin Brown a little bit, and I kind of want to open up this question in chat. This is for y'all as well. I kind of want to ask. So, obviously, this week we had a little bit more of the new media vibe. Obviously, Zach talked about Devin Brown,
new media,
kind of favoring him, things like that. The beat a little bit back, and it was like blah blah. Let's tone that down. All that stuff. Don't necessarily want to touch on that specifically, but I want to talk about this.
Why not? You being pussy?
Yes, I am. So
I ain't scared to talk about it. We can talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about that shit right now. Talk about that shit.
Talk about it.
But put names on it, nigga.
Hold on. This is my general question.
You know what I'm saying? What you scared? Austin Word gonna come and put you in a knuckle sandwich, bro.
Hey, they don't pay me. It is what it is. I can't get in trouble here. But
you know what I'm saying?
My question is,
if you want an athletic quarterback, you got to go with Lincoln Keenholz, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's
if you my question is, do y'all think the beat is really taking a hit or is not as relevant as they once were because of the access of media we get? You hop on Twitter, everybody except Cam,
media.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody except Cam is an insider. Everybody knows everything. Information gets out there very quickly. We all have access to information too at times that doesn't go out there for like 2-3 days. We're like, we're ahead of the game. We get stuff. One, in general, is the beat taking a
pause? Yo,
Christ. I caught myself. My fault.
No, you didn't.
No, somebody clip it out, bro.
He said it's the beat taking a beat.
Oh, I don't know if the meat is getting beat.
We'll edit that out.
No, there ain't no editing that out.
Stop laughing, bro. Stop laughing.
What do you mean? You're out here trying to beat your meat on the podcast, nigga. We're trying to talk football.
Yo, that was throwing me off. Has the beat taking
a step back in importance?
That's the question.
Bro. Is the meat getting a
back in importance? And are they not as relevant as they once were? Y'all can take it from there. God damn,
hey, they had to do it.
Say this to me. It's not, I didn't even say a sentence with it for it to be a pause.
Oh, 40 and this man got meat on his mind, but no, we're gonna talk about the beat here. I think we're seeing access media take a hit because Ohio State has buttoned down their level of access that they're giving to people to a level that we've never seen before. They're barely in practices. They don't say shit during the interviews, they talk about Pop-Tarts and your favorite roommate and things like that. I mean, I always say this. Why do we have 16 people on the beat and all of them stand there with a recorder and they're all recording the exact same thing? 15 people are live streaming the same fucking interview. For what? Like, write down the questions and send an intern if everyone's just going to stand there with a recorder and just record the exact same thing. It doesn't make sense to me, especially when they don't say anything. So, I mean, we're going to see an interesting season this year. I mean, Menace to Sports has become one of the largest platforms, if not the largest platform in Ohio State media, despite being a national show. Are they going to have to get more entertaining? Because it's not like they're providing inside information. Like, there's no Oracle anymore. Like, we're not getting camp nuggets. We're not getting any of that inside shit. So what are you subscribing for? Like, I used to, before we started Best Damn Media, I subscribed to every Buckeye paid subscription news outlet. And I couldn't tell you a single one that tells you anything before Twitter. Not one.
Yeah. Cam.
Man, listen. Obviously with Ryan Day, like, you see how he talks to the media, how he is very just like a robot. It's like, Ryan Day, is the sky blue? He'd be like, well, woke up today, I looked up and it seemed to be that color. Like, whoa, what does that mean? Like, he's never going to give you like direct info or direct access or direct whatever to what he's thinking, because he's very tightened up. But, and like you said, but we don't have no beat members that's outside. Go outside. Like, what, like, who on the beat is? I mean, they're going to the high school games. They're doing all that. They're doing all that. Yeah, Berm. Like, Berm. Shout out Berm. Like, Berm's going like to the football games or whatever. But nowadays, the flow of information is coming from aunts, uncles. It's coming from high school coaches. Coming from little league coaches. It's coming from people in NILs. It's coming from street agents. It's coming from all of that. So it's like, are you outside, bro? Because, like, you're not going to get all the information you need, especially regarding recruiting, by being in a Woody all day with a microphone asking Mark Pantoni's and the so-and-sos to give you all factual information. You got to be outside. Sometimes you got to be like a journalist, and go get sources and go talk to people and do that. I don't know if we have that on the beat, but the interviews with the players that they get, I mean, that's cool too. But I just feel like Zach's and the Menace and Chris and BDMG, I just feel like that we are putting a very solid effort to be outside, to put our ears to the streets and to hear what's going on and putting things together. And people are trusting us because we're not in the news breaking. It's not behind a paywall. We just want to see Buckeye football win. So.
Yeah, and I see Mike in the chat. Obviously, shout out to Mike. Yeah, man, he's talking about there's guys, and we're not saying there's not guys on the beat that are good. Obviously, Dave Biddle does a great job.
Yeah.
Doug Maurice, he's going to ask some hard questions and get some answers. And shout out to Arga Berm. He does a great job as well. I just think it was such a stronghold on, like, we have the credentials, we can ask the questions, and we sit here every week and we watch these interviews. We try to prep our shows and things like that. And we're like, one, this shit is dry. We not really getting shit. Like, me and Ron is in here grinding, trying to make the show when we do our shows every morning, trying to make our show entertaining, try to think more outside the box. I don't think there is a lot of that on the beat as far as, one, getting that information, which is great, but then two, presenting that information in an entertaining value. I mean, Ron, what have we been at the game for, like, 2 weeks? How long we doing Buckeye Roast?
14 episodes.
Yeah, we're 14 episodes in, and obviously big shout out to you guys who come in and hang out with us every morning. Bro, we're 14 episodes in. I'm talking like we're doing pretty well for just joining in. And I see guys in there talking about, like, hey, we seen your show. We're over here every morning just because of the entertainment value that you bring and things like that. And I feel like just from the beat, just holding on to credentials and having information is just not enough. You also have to be able to present it, be personalities, do your homework like Cam was talking about, make those connections, chase down stories and things like that. And I feel like that is why Menace is blown up so much as it is. That is why we're able to do this and do this well. And now the channel has hit, a point where it's like, okay, like, we come in here and I look at the line, I'm like 117 people, like, oh shit, like, we get to go talk to 100 people every day and vibe out about Ohio State football. So I just think some of those things are missing. The people on the beat that do it well, and that's great. But also, too, the amount of hit back that they got just for saying what they heard is like it's getting crazy. And it's like you're trying to keep a stronghold on this information when that's not what actually makes you valuable. Because we can all sit up there and watch interviews. What makes you valuable is how you get the information and then how you present it. So that is just kind of my view of it and how entertaining you are to keep people showing up, having a good time, things like that.
Yeah, so I just don't. Oh, go ahead.
So I've always said that Ohio State has one of the largest beats in all of American sports. I think it's just as entertaining as the team covering the drama on the beat. And I feel like last year it was like every media outlet versus Buckeye Scoop. Now I feel like this year with Menace breaking, the quarterback story potentially a week before anyone else had it, I think we're about to watch another Royal Rumble on the beat this year because it's going to be everyone looking at Menace like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And I think two thing is they walk a line on the beat. And this is kind of the positive negative of having those credentials and everything. They can't just come out and just say, like, we show up here, and if Ohio State plays terribly, I swear to God, on that Sunday, like, you about to hear some shit because we're going to go up. We're going to tell you, like, how it is. And I feel like the problem with having credentials and walking that line is you can't, like, really do that. And I feel like it's a holdback, but that's a sacrifice you got to make. Like, we don't never care about getting credentials. We're going to come up here and say how you feel, and nobody's going to tell us, you can't say one thing or another because we're going to say what we want to say. You either rock with it or you don't. And that's just kind of how I feel like where we're at.
Man, yeah, because, like if you look at the NFL, some teams are friendlier than others, but like if a team does bad in the NFL, the beat's like, hey, like that was trash.
Yeah,
what's going on? Like, what are y'all doing in practice this week to fix this shit? Like,
could you imagine if your boy Mark Madden was on the Ohio State beat? How crazy that nigga would talk about the Buckeyes?
Yeah, like, bro, like there's just like it's so like I'm like that's how it does in pro sports, but here it's like they got like a freaking conglomerate of like people that are just like so hell bent on protecting the reputation of certain coaches and certain players and certain staff members that it's like we're not getting a real spiel, a real tea. Like, what's going on? Like, we want to know what's going on, good or bad. Like he said here in the comment section. So, I mean, not trying to like completely fucking go off the Richter scales on the beat. There's some guys that are on the beat that are doing a good job. But as an overall, I can't say that I feel like the beat has been as effective as it should be for a program like Ohio State especially during this offseason, this cycle. So hopefully it improves.
That too. And also
the new media.
Allow new motherfuckers to come on here and be able to talk and not bite back at that. I think that's where like, okay, like we can
also work on the credentials members for Ohio State. Getting some darker shade of folks, some black folks or something on that beat. That might be great for Ohio State too, because it's looking real country clubbish. So we're gonna work on that as well.
Got to turn the brightness down when you look at the beat photo.
But yeah, man, want to touch on that a bit. We got some stuff for y'all, so I want y'all to weigh in on this. So we'll get to that in a second. But who said? Oh, my guy Daniel's in here. Hey, he said, quit slagging, chat. There ain't 50 likes in here. We got 122 people in here. Go ahead and like that video. We got to get Cam that Tito's sponsorship. For his show, we need that. If you want Cam on Tito's Thursday.
Hey, man. Hey, all the OGs that's been rocking from us from the jump. Y'all already know what type of content y'all gonna get if I do a Tito's sponsored podcast.
Like the video. We come in here.
Come on, man.
So yeah, but interesting conversation. I'm sure we'll hit back on that as the season goes. But yeah, definitely want to talk that. So Cam, I wrote this in here for you. So we're gonna do this segment. So chat, we have a top 100 list. We have an over under. We're gonna get to that in a second. That is your time. I want y'all to weigh in there, and we're gonna see if guys too high, too low. But before we get to that, I want Cam to break down this defensive line. So Cam, this is my overall question. You're a defensive line guy. Played defensive line in college. We've been talking about this defensive line all offseason. They just had their interviews. We kind of know the pieces are kind of set down. Now, my question to you is one: Why is this defense? Because you've been saying this defensive line is going to be different this year. It's going to be different than it's been the last few years. Let me know why this defensive line is going to be different, and let me know, do we have the best defensive line in the country? Those are two questions I have for you. Take it away.
Our D-line is going to be better this year because of interior depth and interior twitch. We have people on the interior that is twitched up. Now, I know that we heard the rumors about Tyleek and how he's out of shape, like whatever, like blase, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we heard that shit last year too, and all I saw was him absolutely obliterate Georgia's guard for fucking 2 quarters in a playoff game. So save all the Tyleek Williams is this and that bullshit. I seen him play, put that nigga in a game. Now, number 2, we got depth this year. So we got Caden Curry's, we got the Kenyatta Jacksons, we got the Hero Canoes, we got the Ty Hamilton or the Taiwan Malones, and we got the Caden McDonald's too, who just got his black stripe removed. So I feel like we have legitimately 4 people behind Jack Sawyer, JTT, and Mike Hall Jr., 4 or 5 that we can rotate in there to be effective immediately, bro. Immediately, and not to forget the whole jack position. We're testing out Arvell Reese right now at that position, who's 6'4", 6'5", 235-pound freshman, running like a fucking deer. We put another 15 pounds on him. We got a 245-pound hybrid linebacker mixed in with another 230-pound 6'5" safety. So we looking real freakish out there, bro. I think that our defensive line is going to be the best because if you watch JTT last year and Jack Sawyer, like I've been saying for how long, Ron? The reason we didn't get sacks is because we had no interior pass rush last year. So with Teron Cage, Teron Vincent, all those guys, we had no push. But this year, I think you're going to see the quarterbacks getting knocked off platform a lot more, to the point where there's going to be kind of a chase and rally type of thing going on. So I'm excited, bro. I just don't see anybody with a 2.5, almost 3 deep that we do have at defensive line. I know Georgia fans are going to say, well, that their defensive line is good, which, you know, they have their opinions. But when it's all said and done, I think our defensive line is going to come out as the best, especially look at all the guys that we play. We're going to end up playing Michigan, who's arguably, you know, quote unquote, claiming themselves as Joe Moore Award winner for the 3rd time in a row this year. We play Joe Alt, who has a top 10 projected tackle on their team. We're going to play Olu over there at Penn State, who also has a top 10 projected tackle on their team. We're going to go play Wisconsin, who has been getting offseason hype for offensive line. So we're going to know very early and very often this year what type of problem that we're going to have on this D-line for the nation. So I think they're going to ball out. I think they're going to do amazing against the best teams that we play. And I have no reason to think otherwise. So,
yeah, and just follow that, man. I have been, you know, very jealous, and it's a shout out to Georgia, of their defensive line. And just like I talked about with Ron, I said, bro, nobody runs on Georgia. It's not even a thought. You don't go into the game like, oh, shit, we're going to pound.
We did.
You know, we did at spurts.
It's a different story. That's a different story.
A little bit of effectiveness at times. But you don't just line up against Georgia and just run the ball. And I'm like, damn, wouldn't that be nice to have a defensive line where, you know, they're just going to take the run game away. And in the pass game, they're going to get on your ass. And it looks like this season, we finally have that defensive line where it's like not only with the star power of they've had Jalen Carter, they've had guys like that, and it's like, oh shit, we got some star power where we should have one of those dudes, or people talking about should be a lottery pick, early round pick. We should have one of those guys, and we have depth to where it's like, you know, last season, Teron Cage, you know, Teron Vincent roll out there. We ain't get no pass rush, just whatever. It's like when Larry Johnson has to sub this season, the guy he's bringing in, we're all like, okay, we can rock with that. All right, you can sub. I'm with you.
Yeah,
let's see what the guys could do. So it's a lot of excitement.
There's a lot of dudes who are overlooked. I think Caden Curry's gonna have his moments this year. From what I seen coming out of high school, I thought that Caden Curry had the quickest first step out of everybody on the D line. As far as it's just like being a pure edge rusher. So, and he's not even getting as much hype and as much as talk as I think that he's deserved. Mickens, like, I mean, we just look like
Freaky,
we can
bro.
give teams body blows this year. It's like, okay, boom, 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 boom. All right, we're gonna put in a freshman rotation, and all of them is with the shits.
Yeah.
Like we ain't had this shit in a minute, bro. And my guy, Hero Canoe, remember the name.
You've talked about Hero Canoe so much in this offseason, and we have so many guys where it's like he's almost a name where it's like he's like the 5th or 6th, 7th guy name, and it's like, well, shit, if he's if he's trying to crack the 2 deep, we know we doing all right.
Yeah,
right. Dude's gonna be a monster, man. And obviously, shout out to Amari Abor. I know he got hurt, so for him. No, he be with the shits on the timeline, but it sucks to have back-to-back injuries. So hopefully he gets well soon. But yeah, man, this defensive line is absolutely insane, and I'm just ready for it. So you standing on that line, best in the country.
Best. Quote me. Put me,
right, there's your answer.
Put me in the locker room, man, for bulletin board
clip
material.
us up.
Tell them truth or told the truth today.
Yeah, clip us up on the timeline. So definitely want to hit that. This is a good time for me to plug everybody. So we know we do our shows during the week. We try to catch it very early on, get people before they go to work. But I mean, if you cannot catch us there, we do have audio. My guy Ron's been putting in the work on the audio. He's got uploaded. So anywhere you can find podcasts, anywhere, we're in there for all shows. Buckeye BS is there. Buckeye Roast is there. So everywhere you find audio is in there. Let me plug it because my guy Ron's been working hard behind the scenes. He's working hard. He's been getting that up there. And he was even sick, last night, this morning. He showed up for the Buckeye BS. So shout out to my guy. Like the video for Ron because he showed up in here and he's putting on performance for y'all. So appreciate that. All right, so y'all, we got 133 people in here. I put this together for y'all. I think this is going to be pretty fun. So let's do this. So ESPN, and actually bring it home. ESPN did a top 100 college football player list. And I'm going to bring it up so I can just give you the straight top 10. And let me do that. There we go. So I'm gonna give you the straight top 10. What I want to know is this player overrated on this list? Is he underrated, or is he right where he needs to be? So let me start with this top 10. I'm gonna read you top 10. Then we're gonna hop into certain players. I'm gonna ask these guys what they think. But this is the top 10 ESPN gave. So Caleb Williams is 1. USC Heisman guy coming back. Brock Bowers is 2.
Stop. We're not
even
reading the list. We're not. No. We're gonna come back to 10. But this nigga Brock Bowers at 2, smoking dick. Like I'm not trying to hear it. There's absolutely no fucking way a fucking tight end is the number 2 player in the country. Did something happen to Marvin Harrison Jr.? Did Devin Brown retire? What are we doing here?
Number 2 is absolutely crazy, bro.
All right, let me get through this top 10.
And then we got Punk in here. It's not even 11 a.m. and he's in here smoking dick. He said Brock should be 1. What?
All right. Caleb Williams 1. Brock Bowers 2. Marvin Harrison is 3. Harold Perkins is 4. Drake May is 5. Michael Penix Jr. at 6. Blake Corum at 7. Chat, calm down.
Holy shit.
Calm down. We'll get into
bro.
that. Blake Corum is at 7. Jordan Travis from Florida State is at 8. Gerald Verse from Florida State is at 9. And Mikael Williams, the Georgia defensive end, is at 10. So that's your top 10. Now we have guys from around the Big Ten we picked out. So now let's go back to Brock Bowers at 2. Chat. Brock Bowers at 2. Is that too high, too low, or just right? Ron already went off. So Cam, let me know. Brock Bowers at 2. What do you think?
Absolute disgusting. I think that Brock Bowers is a good tight end, but we're gonna see what that man look like without Todd Monken.
Your Punk said too low.
We're gonna see what that man look like without Todd Monken. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think that anybody in this chat, that chat, the other chat, Mars or Planet, fucking Pluto, is taking Brock Bowers on their team over Marvin Harrison Jr. So that's what I got to say about that. And Blake Corum, bro, get serious. I'm not even.
We'll get to
Blake, bro. Blake Corum is not a top 10 football player in fucking America, bro. Travion Henderson had the same exact stat line as freshman year. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
All right. So
Marv
at 3. Marv is at 3. Is Marv too high, too low, or just right?
Way too low.
Too low.
Marv should be number 1 for real. Honestly.
I can see that. I mean, Caleb Williams won the Heisman.
Marv is more dominant as a wide receiver than Caleb Williams is as a quarterback.
That is true. I don't know. Caleb Williams is a lot of hype. He's coming back. He won the Heisman. He looked good this offseason, too.
I watched
I
Caleb
can
Williams.
be happy with Caleb at 1 and Marv at 2.
I watched Caleb Williams let Cam Rising put him on a hub. And then I watched the Oregon State Beavers make that man look like he was playing Pop Warner. So I can't really point out a game where Marv looked like that, but you know.
I'm seeing
it is what it is.
I'm seeing too low from Marv. Y'all think Caleb Williams should be 1 from Drew. Okay. I'm cool with Caleb at 1. All right.
You a Caleb fan? Oh, because you're from DC. That's what it is. I'm picking up on it, bro. I'm picking up on it, bro. Yeah, bro. Like you be always
I paint my fingernails with
from the crib,
bro.
I forgot that Caleb Williams from the crib, bro. He always got that little.
Bro, I don't even care. I've never seen this nigga play. I ain't really even know who this nigga was till he committed. Like,
right.
You always like Cam said, 100%. I paint my nails. Fuck Notre Dame on him. That's what I do before games.
Bro. He from the crib. That's why you always be hyping him, bro. I picked it up. I'm picking up on that now, bro.
Michael Penix Jr. at 6, former Indiana quarterback. Where we at? Too high, too low?
Maybe I just don't know football, but I was mad offended on Friday when they kept comparing this nigga Aaron Noland to Michael Penix Jr. I'm like, what are we doing here? And then I see this list, and I'm like, the 6th best player in college football? I mean, I guess so. I don't know about 6, but I mean, I was just so perplexed during that Aaron Noland game where they kept going, you know who he reminds us of? Michael Penix.
Nah, I told Chris yesterday that man got a little bit of that Jameis in him. Got a little bit of that Jameis Winston.
He ate a W after the game. Did you see that? Bro, after the game, he did the Jameis celebration and ate the W, bro.
Oh, my goodness.
He got a little bit of Jameis in him, bro.
All right. So what are we seeing? Nobody's really waiting on Michael Penix, but I think it's too high. I think it's too high personally.
We need 30 more likes.
Yeah, we need them likes, y'all. Okay. So I'm going to bring these two up. Let me answer for them both. Blake Corum is at 7. No, actually, hold on. Yeah, I'm going to bring these two. Blake Corum is at 7. Emeka is 13. Give me your weigh-ins for those two.
Say that again.
Can you hear me? I said Blake Corum is at 7. My fault, I was away from the mic. Blake Corum's at 7. Emeka's at 13. Give me your weigh-in for those two.
Blake Corum way too high because Donovan Edwards is at 17, which makes this list wrong.
Yeah, Donovan Edwards is 17 on this list. Just to let you know. And he's not better than Donovan Edwards. It's just cat.
I think he's a better runner in the football than Donovan Edwards. But Donovan Edwards is a better overall back because of his ability to pass pro and to catch out of the backfield and line up in the slot. But it's like far as running the ball with the ball in his hand, he's not better than Blake Corum, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would put Donovan Edwards above Blake Corum. And then Emeka at 13. Where are we at with Emeka?
Were there any other wide receivers ahead of him, or was he the second wide receiver?
I think he's the second. He's the second behind Marv.
I'm fine with it then.
Yeah, I'm cool with 13.
He's gonna make a case to be in the top 10 this year.
He's got a little to prove. He's gonna
make a case. No.
All right, so more notable. Let's get down this list a little bit. Nick Singleton is at 29. Travion Henderson at 33. So Nick Singleton,
both Michigan running backs are better than both of those backs?
No.
Donovan Edwards, I'm cool with. Nick Singleton, no. I mean, not Nick Singleton. Donovan Edwards, I'm cool with. Blake Corum, no. I'm not cool. I would put him, especially above Nick Singleton, like Travion Henderson. Nigga ain't play all last season. He been hurt. Like I'm cool with that. But Nick Singleton, hell no. Especially coming into this season, no. Hell no.
What if I told you I'm taking Trey Singleton over Corum and Edwards together?
I would say that's a little crazy, especially with Trey didn't do a lot. Like Nick Singleton.
Yeah, but you're hyping up Blake Corum for doing something that Trey did.
I mean, I'm not hyping up.
The only time we saw him healthy, he was 18 years old and put up fucking Blake Corum's numbers.
I'm saying Blake Corum had a good last season. Trey didn't do much last season. He was hurt, so it's like, can I say that? Yeah, is it projection? Yeah, like I can't say he's better right now.
If you're going off last year, if you're going off last year,
yeah, I mean that's the most recent thing we have. So that's what I'm saying. I think Trey is even too high at 33. I think Nick Singleton, I would move him up a little bit. All right. So chat, here we go. This is for you. JJ McCarthy is at 39. So let me tell you who's around JJ to give you some.
Get ready for the wambulance in the chat right now. I see a bunch of fucking
Malachi
Michigan fans crying.
Jacob Cohen from Arizona is above him. Will Rogers, quarterback from Mississippi State, is just right above him. But I mean, he would still be above like the JTTs, the Abdul Carter. So JJ at 39. What y'all think?
Too high.
I would say too high as well. I mean,
he's like a solid like 55, 60.
Yeah.
How many quarterbacks are ahead of him? Count it real quick.
Okay.
Cam, where would you say JJ ranks as far as quarterbacks in college football right now? Top 5?
2.
Top 10? 15?
15-ish. 15.
See, and I don't think I feel like that's not an egregious take. Like,
top 15 for sure.
I got 5 so
I think
far.
15 is more than reasonable. But I mean, we saw Penix ahead of him, Bo Nix was ahead of him, Caleb Williams was ahead of him.
He's at 11. He's at 11.
He's at 11?
He's got 11 quarterbacks ahead of him. So he's a 12.
What do we fucking know? You know what I mean? We're not the worldwide leader in sports, but we said the exact same thing as ESPN. Who fucking knows?
Not yet.
So that's the same shit. Yeah, top 15. There we go. There you go.
He's at 11. I mean, I guess I can see. I still think 30 is a little high, or 39 is a little high. But all right, we'll go there. Okay, so now we got 2 Ohio State guys. Ron's guy, Tommy Eichenberg, is at 47.
Entirely too low. The only person on that list that I would take ahead of Tommy Eichenberg is Caleb Williams. Other than that, I think number 2. I'll listen to an argument that Marv should be ahead of him.
Tommy over Marv?
I think defense wins championships, so you have to go with Tommy Heisenberg. Like, it's very unlikely that you'll see a wide receiver win the Heisman, but with a guy like Tommy Heisenberg, like, you have to go with the linebacker with the more realistic chance in New York this year. Like you heard me say on last week's episode, Ohio State is sending 2 people to New York this year. Travion Henderson and Tommy Eichenberg.
So I think that you almost was cooking, but you should have took him over Caleb Williams and not Marv. But one of those guys will replace him. The other one.
All right, so Tommy's at 47. Mayan at 50. Also, chat, if you have a question on where a player ranks, just throw it in there, and I'll try to find it real quickly and tell you. We got a few more here on this list. But Mayan Williams is at 50. So Mayan's at 50. That was a little surprising to me. I was like, wow, that's maybe a little higher. I'm surprised he's there. What do you think about Mayan Williams at 50? 50 best player in the nation.
That was Tony Offord making a call to one of his buddies at ESPN. Was like, "Hey, nigga, remember back at when I fucking did that favor for you? Yeah. I need you to push that Mayan Williams shit up because when this nigga comes out and start this year, I don't want to ride in Columbus. Thanks, click." That's what that was, bro. Because no fucking way on God's green, beautiful earth is that nigga a top 50 college football player, bro. And I love.
I'm a huge Mayan fan. But I'm not even sure if he's the second best running back on Ohio State's roster. For keeping it a bean.
Yeah. And I wish I had the position rank. I'll tell you where he was, but I think 50 is entirely too high. So, all right, Penn State people, this one's for you. Oh, let me add this in. Will Johnson at 55. Mayan Williams is above Will Johnson. He's at 55.
That's actually hilarious. I like where Mayan is actually. Mayan
he's a good spot.
He is best player and Will Johnson's 54.
Will Johnson and Mayan Williams. All right. So by Michigan people, Will Johnson at 55, Junior Colson's at 56. Don't be mad at me. I ain't make the list. So my Penn State people, Chop Robinson is at 73. Abdul Carter is at 82. Where are we at on that? What do y'all think? Too high, too low, just right? Can you hear me?
No, I heard you. I think both Penn State guys are entirely underranked. I think Chop Robinson should be higher, top 50 player, as well as Abdul Carter. I think Abdul Carter is one of the best linebackers in the country right now.
Yeah. I'm not as aware of Chop. We got Lord, I'm not sure his name. Chop Robinson as much as I am Abdul Carter because I've watched a lot of Abdul Carter this offseason. But yeah, 82 entire. If you're gonna have Harold fucking Perkins at 4, what are we doing? Why is Abdul Carter so far low? So there's no way.
I like Harold Perkins. Don't get me wrong. I like Harold Perkins. You got to remember it's an ESPN list, but I want to see more from Harold Perkins at the point of attack on the run game because When you look past all those pretty pass rushes and him just looking like a freak athlete in open space, when it came to getting dirty and hitting them gaps and setting that edge, bro didn't look like he wanted really to do much to do with that. So Abdul Carter is all over the film, taking on guards, pulling guards, setting edge, doing whatever the hell he needs to do. So I don't know if I'm saying Harold Perkins is worse than him, but like I don't think he's that many spots above him. So it's definitely some home cooking going on.
Top 5.
Yeah,
bro. We had to search for Abdul Carter on this list. Like,
where's the gap ain't that big, bro. They're
it's not that crazy. All right, these are my last 2, chat. So our last guy that's actually on the list, JTT at 85. Where are we at with JTT at 85? Because for me, if you're gonna talk, especially with ESPN talking his first round pick hype, that 85, like this nigga should be at worst in the 20s. If we will hype him up like they have been doing all off season. What are we doing? Cam, go ahead.
You got to put some numbers up, bro. Like I could see why they would put him at 85. Being honest, like. Not being a homer, like he's on the list because of his name and the team he plays for.
So let me ask, if you take, let's say, okay, we have the stats. He just blew up in the Penn State game. Other games, he didn't put up as much stats, but you cut on the film and you watch him play. You watch how he influences the offensive line, how the offense game plans for him like they don't do other guys. Do you still think 85 is a good ranking for that? Or do you feel like his impact is more than just stats, but just because he didn't have an elite pass rusher across from him, we didn't see it show up as much?
I just don't think that we saw him flash as much as you want to see from a top 50, top 40, top 30, top 20 player. Like, he's got to string some games together this year where it looks like he's absolutely controlling the game. Like when we play the Indianas and we play the Marylands and all those like type of teams, like when we had Chase Youngs and the Bosas, it was like, okay, we know what's going on. Like every obvious passing down is a fucking problem, and we know who's going to be there. It's going to be Chase, it's going to be Bosa, or so and so. We don't have that type of production out of JTT for us to really put him up there on that list. I feel like now he can. That's true. He can have that. At this point, I think he still has a lot to prove.
Okay, all right, that's fair. Yeah, Chad, let me know about JTT. I got one for you, and Cam is going to know who I'm talking about. So there was somebody, Ohio State defensive lineman, who was not on this list at all. Was it on this list? I looked twice. Not there. Cam, who is missing off this top 100 list?
Michael Hall Jr. Ohio's very own didn't make the top 100 list. Whoa. Like, I don't know how a person that's on, if you check 5 mock drafts, he's on at least 3 or 4 as a first round pick, but he's not a top 100 player. Like, make fucking sense. I don't know. But this is from fucking ESPN. That's what we come to know from them. They don't really put that much work or that much thought into a lot of things that they do, especially at the collegiate level outside of the SEC. Yeah. So they made sure they hit all the best players, no stone unturned on the SEC and ACC players. But we always have come to know Pac-12, Big Ten, they're going to have those guys that nobody knows. That's going to be missed on the list, and it's just even more egregious that it's Michael Hall Jr., somebody that the media obviously knows, but they in their negligence and carelessness decided not to put him on the top 100. But that's okay. We're going to put that on a bulletin board. We're going to fuck somebody up for the shit. So let's go for it.
It just for kicks. Spencer Rattler's at 93, so he made the list.
Spencer Rattler over Mike Hall Jr.
Michael Hall is not, and no, people were asking Sonny. Sonny is not yet, but that's okay for me. He didn't play a lot last season, so projection, it would be straight projection. But yeah, Spencer Rattler made it. Michael Hall Jr. did not, and that is where that list is. So, Chad, let me know, man. Obviously, want to pull some more stuff for y'all that's interactive. If you like that, let me know. I can pull some more lists throughout the season. We can get them going, have some fun with that. So, just give me your overall reaction to that. But yeah, that's mostly what we have. Like I said, we got 126 people in here, actually 129. Go ahead and like that video.
Whoa.
As we have for notes. You good, bro?
We got a special guest before we get out of here. We hit 50 likes.
Yeah, I was like,
we got a special guest.
I sound like Sloth, man.
I was like, nigga, who said that?
Not so fast, my friend.
Oh man, we got somebody who wants to weigh in on the top 100 list. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, nigga, he wants to talk quarterbacks.
All right. Go ahead. All right, chat. We got a special guest for y'all. Bring him in. I'm excited. It's just Chris Drew. No, I'm just messing with you. What's good, Chris?
Pause. We got this lame ass Shawn Michael nigga in the chat right now tweaking out for what? That nigga is so corny, bro. That shit is crazy. Obviously, this nigga didn't have Google trying to talk about Marv. Only had 1 catch for 7 yards against Ohio State. Nigga, did you see the long ass touchdown? Oh, dumbass. The Michigan fans need to really get him the fuck up out of here because he might be the very worst.
I think he's a Georgia fan, bro.
Hey, he can eat a dick burger, a penis burger, a big old one. Word to my nigga Corey Brooks. What's up, y'all?
What up?
Chris,
I'm pretty sure he's a Georgia fan.
You waited on the you were here on the list. What do you think overall?
Bro, you know who I wanted to hear on that list?
Who?
Well, I heard that, Ohio State has the best coaching and the best development, and yet 2 linebackers in the same class with C.J. Hicks were both in the top 50, and the one that was the number 1 linebacker is not. But that's neither here nor there. Mayan Williams is absolutely not a top 50 player. That one tripped me out a little bit. And Cam, as a defensive line guy, you're fried as fuck, bro, for not having for being cool with JTT that low.
I hadn't seen it. So
did you miss the Penn State game last year?
It's 1 game.
I mean,
hey, and I'm disappointed in all 3 of y'all. Tegan Jr. sent the memo.
Hold on, Chris. Hold on. Time out. No, this nigga did not just try to come here. Time out.
No.
What is the word that I said? I said consistently, game in, game out. You cannot show me consistent dominance from him as a pass rusher.
Nigga,
game in, game out.
This was consistent. And come on, bro.
He wasn't being consistent.
Bro, it's a marriage, bro. You know that, bro. Defense is a marriage, nigga.
Bro.
It's a marriage. Look, you want to talk about Chase Young and Bosa? Cool. It also wasn't Swiss cheese on the back end when they were playing defensive end.
Yeah, that is true.
Maybe if a nigga could cover for more than a quarter of a second, my nigga would have some sacks.
What do you think played?
I mean, it wasn't like we was getting absolutely decimated by quick game, but I feel you. I hear what you're saying.
Hold on, Ron. Go ahead, Ron.
No, I was going to say, what do you think played more into the lack of sacks last year, the coverage or the interior pass rush?
I mean, I think it was a marriage of both when you cover to the defensive ends. One, guys are getting cooked out there. And you saw a lot of guys where they're 1 step away. They're 1 hand away, and the quarterback can step up into the pocket as much as he needs. Shit, it's just a fucking open lane. It's like fucking that pad drill where you got to go down the middle. You go around.
I think the fact that our nickel corner might have been the worst in the Big Ten was the reason for the lack of sacks.
Who talking about? Ronnie Pickmans and
Tanner McAllister.
Tanner McAllister's and the Ronnie Pickmans.
Hey, bro, Cam's narrative is cooked, bro, because once this nigga Ronnie Hickman make a roster, he's not gonna know what to say.
No. Time.
He had 3 interceptions the other day.
He's making the roster.
Time. The only nigga that can cook me from my takes is Zach Harrison. That's the only one.
That's true.
That's the only one.
Happened to him. That nigga. The thing is, he's still stiffer than the fucking plank from Ed and Eddie. So I don't know what changed. I don't know what's going on over there unless those niggas can cover. But every defensive end gets better when they get up with Jeff Okudah. So that might be it too.
My only issue with Ronnie Hickman was as a Buckeye, I didn't think he put it all on the line. So that was my only issue. And we have to.
We should have. So. As soon as this nigga declared, they should have benched him.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, let me get your quick reaction to a couple.
Which time he declared 3 times?
Yeah, he declared like 5 times, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, he might just declare.
And we still wouldn't play Sonny. It's disgusting.
So let me ask you, Chris. So Brock Bowers ahead of Marv. What do you think?
Wild. I don't want to sound like a hater, but I'm not in love with Brock Bowers. Like, people talk about Brock Bowers like he's a generational tight end prospect. Nigga, I seen a bigger, faster, stronger Brock Bowers playing for Iowa a little bit back, and no one wanted to hype him up like this.
Ooh.
Like, in 2017, if a nigga put TJ Hawkinson as the number 2 player in the country, everybody would be like, what the fuck are we doing? Like TJ Hawkinson's a better tight end in college than Brock Bowers is. But
yeah.
I mean, Noah Fant was a dog too.
Yeah, Noah Fant was a dog, but it's about brand, right?
Yeah, it's like
you have a tight end playing for the most dominant team in college football. Lucky or not, yeah, put him like make Brock Bowers that, but Hawk was better. Nigga was the Hawkness monster at Iowa. Nigga went top 10, and nobody even dreamt of having him in the top 10 or top 2 even players in the country. So that's more of a brand thing, and it's recognizable. I mean, that nigga is they're a great media campaign for him. You see, they have him on the fucking Blitnikoff Award watch list.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like, nigga, he's a tight end. Chill out,
bro. And also, like we talk about a lot, bro. We don't see what it looked like over there with Todd Monken going, bro.
We're gonna see what it looks like, and then we're gonna also see. I wouldn't be surprised if. Never mind. That's I was about to reach Craig. I wouldn't be surprised if that Delp nigga ends up being better.
You have been giving him a lot of hype. You have been giving him a lot of hype. I'll tell you that. Punk, weigh in on that. I see you in the chat.
Top
spam.
5,
Go
bro.
ahead.
Punk doesn't get to weigh in on when I'm on the fucking show, nigga. What? Nigga, I don't give a fuck about Punk's weigh in. Fuck Punk. And fuck the whole state of Georgia. And for real, it's really Northeast Ohio versus everybody, bro. Tavien said we could wear the chains today because we was waxing on. It was getting real slimy outside, real shady outside yesterday.
Hey, I put that tweet out. I was like, bro, like Tavien was out there wearing fucking chains on. Hey, Chris was like, bro, that nigga know where all the cameras is at. He was like, bro, Jesus.
These niggas went up 14-7. It cut to Tavien cut to them with the chain on. No smile. Nigga, you know what time it is. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, dear God. The announcer was like, Tim, this could get ugly here. I was like, nigga, yeah, it's going to get ugly.
Oh, shit. All right, so Chris, let me ask. I thought this was interesting. Nick Singleton at 29, with Corum being up at 7 and Edwards being at 17 or 18. What do you feel about that? Do you feel like Nick Singleton, just specifically on him, is he too low, or you feel like he's all right?
Where was Judkins at?
Shit, I have to look. I think he was in the teens.
He was like he was hhigher than that because he was like the 4th running back.
Let me see. I'll tell you in 1 second.
Bro, it's so funny because Michigan fans try to do the Georgia fan thing, and they try to act like they invented football, like without winning the championships, and it's really comedy at this point. Like, could you guys imagine the kind of the kind of talk they would get if they ever got like a J.K. Dobbins over there? Like, it would be so ridiculous. Like, they talk about this nigga Blake Corum like he's generational to the point where ESPN even buys into it. Yeah, like
delete X.
Like, if Mike Weber had the usage rate that Corum had over there at Michigan, he would put up the same exact numbers. And niggas really don't want to talk about that. But fuck Blake Corum too.
But yeah, Singleton, is he too low?
Yeah, Singleton's a better back to Blake Corum. I don't know anybody that thinks otherwise.
I don't.
Like skill wise, what does Blake Corum do better than Nick?
He runs hard.
He doesn't run harder than Nick. He's not faster. Like,
I think he's too low.
He has a better offensive line.
You said Michigan.
He has a better offensive line. That's what he does better. Run behind a better offensive line.
I mean, honestly, like Blake Corum should probably be a backup. If we're being completely honest, like Donovan Edwards is the best running back on that team. It's not even close.
Yeah, I agree with what I'm saying. I said that for a year, but people want to say what they want to say. But yeah,
like didn't Jim Harbaugh try to get Blake Corum up out of there so they could make Edwards the guy?
Well, I mean, he the coach. Start him. And the other one I wanted to ask about was Abdul Carter at 82. Obviously, we see where Harold Perkins is on this list at 4. See where my linebackers is at. Do you think that's too low?
I mean, maybe I'm a Big Ten bias guy, but I honestly think I would have Abdul Carter in the top 50.
Yeah, comfortably.
If I'm being super fair.
Especially some of this shit is a little bit projection as well. So
who put that list up?
This is ESPN.
I'm saying, what editor said, yeah, sounds good to me?
Oh, let me.
What's that nigga's name?
It just says ESPN staff.
He said, who cooked that shit up?
Chat GPT.
Chat
GPT. That honestly, that's probably what it was.
Bro, this says ESPN with some of the stuff on here, but it says there's no writer's name. It's all ESPN. That's their collective.
Yeah, that's definitely Chat
GPT. Is their O line really that? You know what? I'm not going through.
Yes, they have a good O-line, Cam. I don't want this to be a full fucking hate fest.
No, bro. I'm talking about like. It's fine. Because I just know that our O-line didn't really get any praise or whatever, and Georgia's O-line didn't absolutely decimate ours like they did against them. Their Joe Moore Award winning line, and we didn't have a 3-3-5 stack. You know what? Never mind, bro. I was just gonna go. They're the Joe Moore Award winners, but when the lights is bright, I don't know.
The $335.
I don't know, bro. I'm just saying they supposed to be the O-line guys, and our O-line, I don't know. We'll see. It is what it is.
That's common.
Hey man, back to back.
You know what I'm saying, Chris? I'm just I be looking like we both played Georgia, like our O-line, like I don't know, whatever. Like,
yeah, you're a funny nigga for real.
I don't know, bro.
But yeah, I just wanted to ask you about some things on the list. But yeah, man, obviously, Chris, we weighed in earlier, talked about the beat versus the new media, things like that. I want to ask you, you got any thoughts on that?
I'm either gonna be the biggest clown on Twitter this week, or it's about to be a crazy ass victory lap being taken, like a crazy one. You know what I was thinking about before all this? Actually, honestly, it was presented to me on the phone, like how different this quarterback battle looks if USC wins against Utah. Because think about what that does. Because then Ohio State goes to the Orange Bowl. CJ Stroud doesn't play. And I found out the plan was to go 50-50 reps during the game during that Orange Bowl.
Gee.
And think about how crazy that would have been.
What for Kyle and Devin
Orange Bowl?
Yeah. So that's what some of the prep was for. Because there was some, you're probably not gonna make the playoffs. And so then you could have seen, you would have seen all the young guys, right? And I think that could have changed a lot of things. But I think I'm like 99.9% sure it's Devin at this point. I think that the team can feel it. I think he can feel it. And it's gonna. A part of me's a little like worried because Zach and I took such an aggressive stand, or because Zach really took the aggressive stand, and now I'm on board.
Yeah. Well, that's because and then that was my thing. It was such the we all came out and y'all talked about it. It was such the fucking like bite back of like, oh nah, like fuck y'all. Like it was that very like we've been here for a long time. Like y'all just got here. Like fuck y'all. Like
the beat was definitely offended that y'all had the audacity to even fucking break that neuse.
And that's why that's why we wait on it, bro. It's like coming from the stands of being new in the game. It's like bro, like, okay, you got credentials, you get to talk to players, whatever. That has nothing to do with if people listen to you, if people believe you, anything like that, your credibility. That shit ain't got nothing to do with that just because you got credentials. Is what you show up, what you say, and how well you entertain people, and are you trustworthy? You're going to tell me your honest opinion, which I feel like the beat does not do. Like 50% of the time, they don't give their honest opinion. And that's not every member, it's just some people. So that's just my.
They literally came on to the fucking scene the next day and was like, well, some people want a more mobile quarterback. Well, Devin Brown and Kyle McCord are the same athlete. If you really want that guy, you need to go get Lincoln Kienholz. Basically saying like Devin Brown is a wash, and like the beat was like making it seem like it was like not allowed for Devin Brown to be a better quarterback than Kyle. Like it was just like forbidden for that to be a thing. And I'm like, bro, like
when Zach co-signs somebody and he's the first one to co-sign somebody, like the initial reaction has to be to like, oh, denounce that person immediately. It's almost because it's like too close to Zach that people get a little weird. Honestly, what happened was when Austin didn't shake my hand, I then went to all my sources and told them to all give Austin fake information to run with. And that's what happened.
Yep.
Yeah, man. It was just a bite back for me. That's what pissed me off. I'm like, all right, bro. Like we all do this. We all hop on here. We all can be entertaining. Like blah blah blah. Like don't do that shit. Like to be honest, like fucking like you were in radio before, bro. You had a lot of OGs on the game. Like somebody had to help you, somebody had to bring you in, and that's just in any profession in life. And I think that's what we don't like so much. It's just like, bro, don't do that shit. Just because you've been around the block and you've been here, like if somebody's coming up, there's always gonna be somebody fucking coming up. If we do this shit for 10, 15 years and we still talking, there's gonna be some other motherfuckers that come up and like, oh shit, they got vibe, they got entertainment, like they're bringing it. So we're all gonna be there. So that's why I'm like, don't do that shit. That's just my opinion on it. But
when they announce the starting quarterback on Twitter, I think it's gonna be about like Menace versus the beat, basically. But I don't want it to be about that because I want to lie. Like I want them to name a starting quarterback and then me to lie immediately.
This nigga Ron, bro.
Wait, what happened to let me get it back? There we go. But yeah. But Chris, we want to wrap it up in a minute. You got any thoughts, anything we need to hear? Anything you got coming up this week? Let me know before we get out of here.
I don't think the quarterback battle is as tight as anyone makes it seem. I do think Devin Brown is the most competitive quarterback that Ryan Day has had in a long time. And honestly, him coming to Ohio State is crazy. There is also another story about him and Lincoln wanting to go to the same high school, and I'll let him tell it at some point. Him and Lincoln wanted to go to the same high school, and the high school coach turned them both away because they had some phenom playing for them in high school, which is crazy that they both ended up at Ohio State. The fact of the matter is Devin wanted to go compete in the most crowded room, and it was either going to be Ohio State or Texas, I think. And he wanted to compete against Quinn Ewers, and then Quinn Ewers ended up at Texas anyway. So, I don't know. I don't really have too much kind of on the quarterback front on that wise, but I am excited for a mobile looking quarterback, and I do think you're going to see a lot of the zone read stuff. And I do expect the announcement to be made on either Monday or Tuesday. Didn't Ryan move up his press conference?
Yeah, I think he did. I think there's one tomorrow. I think there is
tomorrow. So I think it'll be tomorrow. So get your trolls ready.
You think they're going to announce
your trolls ready?
I think they're announcing it Tuesday.
Tuesday or Monday? Because I thought he moved it up.
I think he moved Wednesdays to Tuesday.
Oh, got you. All right. Well, Tuesday it is. You got 24 hours. Yeah. 124 hours to get it right.
So we'll be ready. But yeah, chat, man, I appreciate everybody stopping in, tuning in. Again, shout out to my guy Ron. He was not feeling well, but he helped us put together a good, fun show. Definitely get your feedback for all that. Do not forget, bro, if you can't watch us live or you're at work, whatever, you want to tune us in, we are on all audio platforms. We'll be there. Let me talk to Chris already, state of the program. As soon as the quarterback is announced, we will hit that show and gear up for the season. You know what type of energy we bring in. So that's gonna be a fun time, things like that. But make sure y'all like that video. Hit the comments. I've been saying this for about a week, but anything you want us to do, anything you like, anything you have to say about it, leave in the comments. Let us know. We'll try to adjust. We just want to continue to make it entertaining. Appreciate the vibes. Cam, let us know where they can find you at.
You can find me at I Know Things 19 on Twitter. And also I am on Facebook.
Today, nigga, damn.
Working on the Best Damn Media presence on there. We're trying to grow on Facebook, so check out some more stuff on there as well.
Yeah, and I'll outro Chris Drew because we'll never outro. So you know where to catch Chris Drew. He's on Mr. Sports, man. He's on the timeline. He ain't hard to find.
I'm in Akron. I'm in the real Akron.
Yeah, he's in Akron. You catch him there. If you want to catch me, and we made a little panels about it, make it a little easier. Steve Boy Quentin on Twitter. Instagram on Instagram, Find It Johnson, and Minor League Films both on TikTok and YouTube. So I'll be there. Ron.
You can find me at 2T's on Twitter. That's 2_TEES. The same on Twitch. It is 2Shiesty on TikTok. And you can find us every morning, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. for the Buckeye Roast. Me and Q talk Buckeye football every morning here on this channel. So we appreciate everyone pulling up. I apologize for sounding like dog shit today. Just glad I was able to make the show. Appreciate our guy Chris Drew for pulling up. And see you guys next Sunday for another episode of the Buckeye Roast. This isn't the Buckeye Roast. This is Buckeye BS.
Hey, go lay down, Ron.
Yeah, it's been a long day.